Hi, I'm Phil, and this is my channel, Kickin with Phil, and I'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe so you can get that notification bell. Hey guys, what's up? We're kicking it again, and I got one. This is another friend, and we go way back. We did some performing in some different places together, and just an incredible, great friend, and someone who's a writer. He's a poet, and he is a comedian, and we all call him SNAXX. What's up, SNAXX?
Hey, I'm more like a meal, but they call me SNAXX.
There you go. There you go. Man, I just wanted I want them to know you a little bit, get to know you a little bit. I told them that you did some poetry and stuff like that. Where are you from, and how'd you get started?
Born and raised in Texas, and lived all over Texas pretty much, and came out here in 1999, and lived in Orange County until 2012. And then I moved to downtown Los Angeles, and that's when my life started pretty much.
Wow.
I had a stroke, and after that, my brother says that he's seen me do more since my stroke than before my stroke.
Whoa. And why would he say that?
Since then, I've had 2 books come out since my stroke. I have been in a couple films, although you have to pause and search for me.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
But other than that, my comedy, I started stand-up comedy and all that ever since my stroke.
Wow. Why do you think? Did you start writing? Did you have a time that I guess you just started writing during this time, and it was during the recovery?
Well, I went into a deep depression, and because of my depression, the only outlet I had was to write.
Wow.
And I would just sit down and just start writing, and just things would come to my head. And well, like I told our friend Lita, Lita, when she writes poetry, she paints pictures.
Yes.
I just rhyme words.
Okay, wow.
And that's what it was for me, and it was just a way to get my feelings out.
Nice.
And I started going to New City Church, and went to the open mic that Lorinda had, and I started reading my poetry there, and just getting up and doing it because I wanted to do something. But because of my stroke, I couldn't play piano anymore. I couldn't play guitar anymore, and so I lost those talents, and I didn't know if I could sing or not because a lot of my memory is gone, and but I just got up and started reading my poetry right from my phone.
Wow.
That I wrote. And some of it hit. Some people, thanked me for it afterwards. And then one day, something really funny happened, and I said it at the open mic, and everybody busted out laughing. I didn't understand why everybody was laughing, and so Lorinda just she challenged me to make more jokes, and so I called her my comic mom.
Wow, that's so awesome. Wow, and that's amazing. Now, let me ask you this: before, you had been performing before the stroke. You had been performing.
Yes. But
then afterwards,
I was actually a rapper in the 90s.
What?
And South Texas is where I was pretty much from. I did a lot of shows in South Texas. But my album was called White Man Can't Rap. And my tour was almost live because I would set up keyboards. I had 2 keyboards. I had microphones, backup microphones, front microphones. I had guitar, bass guitar, drum set, everything. And I called it almost live because they'd see all that on stage. And then I'd walk out and sing with tracks.
You're stupid. That's great, man.
I did that once, actually.
You were already
I did not want to do that again.
But that's a cool thing, almost live. I like that. So then, but right after the stroke, you started writing as an outlet.
Right.
And then you went to an open mic that Lorinda was hoping and just start sharing.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. You were still going, you were still moving. Even during a depression that you said you were going through, you were still pressing through it.
It was the only thing I could do.
Wow.
That or suicide.
Yeah.
But suicide is such a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And so, wouldn't it be nice if we just tried it out for a week?
Yeah.
If we don't like it, we can start over.
Just start over. Just run everything we just okay, now just continue.
Oh, I went the wrong way. We come back and make my life right.
Oh, okay. Literally, yeah.
But so I've been a performer since I was a kid.
Wow.
My parents put me on stage.
Yeah.
I've been in singing groups with kids, and when I was in elementary, I was in the elementary choir. We got on the radio. And for Christmas, one time we sang a Christmas song in German.
Yeah.
And it was, so all my life I've been performing.
Wow. Let me ask you this, and I'm just, because you said you lost certain abilities to do certain things, but you end up using writing and performing again. That was helping you through the process. That's can you explain? Can you go into
I'm at home on stage. You know this.
Yes, but do they? I mean, because you started out young. Your parents put you on stage, and wow, and you're still doing it. And so this depression didn't put you down. It helped to carry you to a new place.
Right.
What is that like? I mean, because
you just follow the paths that are laid out for you.
Wow.
You can't. If there's a roadblock, you got to find someplace else to go.
Wow.
You can't go this way anymore, because if not, there's a big cliff. Then you got to go around it. You got to find your way around it, and so that's just all I did.
Wow. And it was your brother who said, he's seen more since that stroke in you than all the past. Tell us about the books.
My first book is Take Me to Your Leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a little boy who just went for a walk, and then he encountered an alien who actually told him, take me to your leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told him about Jesus. He told him about Peter. He told him about Paul. He told him Bible stories. Yeah, he told them all.
Wow.
And the alien accepted Jesus in his heart, went back to Marshallland. One of the things in the book in there that I put was that they all ran back so they could phone home,
Mm-hmm.
but only one returned and said thanks very much.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the 10 lepers.
Yeah.
9 leaving and coming back, and so that's what. And it was turned into a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my YouTube page.
Okay.
SNAXX comedy.
Okay.
With 2 X's.
So it says SNAXX, SNAXX.
1 X, you get a rabbit. It's pretty funny. On the Gong Show. And 3 X's is a porn star. But I don't know anything about that. No. And but mine is 2 X's, SNAXX comedy, and you'll find my the cartoon on there was done by Sean Conner. He's another comedian, and he does great work. And very affordable. So he's had me on a lot of his shows.
Nice.
I really appreciate him. And I didn't notice though, because I told him I don't have rights to the pictures on my books.
Yeah.
Because the publisher did them, so they have the rights. So I said, you have to change those. I didn't notice. He put himself as the main character.
Okay. We're gonna put the name SNAXX Company down here. We'll put it down and all your information on how to get
Right here.
yeah. So you were performing in the open mic, and one time when you were sharing some of your poetry and stuff, something happened that was funny, and then that's when, because out of all the years, even though I think when you were doing the almost live, there was still comedy elements there. So you've always had this sort of personality thing going.
I've always admired and enjoyed comics. But I never thought I could remember that many jokes. You know, because you think, why did the dog cross the road? You know, that's about the only one I remember.
Yeah.
You know, and it is until I got into stand-up comedy that it's more than just about jokes. It's
Wow.
It's stories.
Mm.
And basically, that's what I talk about, stories of my life.
Wow.
You know, after one show, somebody came up to me in the restroom actually, and he goes, "Hey man, you were really funny." I said, "Well, thank you for laughing at my life."
Oh, you're terrible! You're terrible! I love it! I love it! It's just... But I want to know this particular night, when you were doing the thing, you were reading and sharing, and then everybody laughed. Did you feel that when they were laughing like that, and then Lorinda came to you and said, "I challenge you to do these jokes"? But how did it work?
Yeah, they all laughed. It felt good. You know, in fact, when I first started comedy, I just wanted them to shut up because they're ruining my timing. You know, what y'all laughing for?
That's awesome.
But, you know, and so afterwards, Lorinda said, "That was really funny." She goes, "You know what? I want you to come back with more jokes."
Wow.
I didn't know how to write a joke.
Wow. Wow. And he's talking about Lorinda Hawkins Smith, and we actually, yeah, she's a really, really good friend. Because I was performing with her also in those open mics.
I met you in one of her mics.
Yes, and now look.
You were crawling all over the floor. I didn't know what you were doing. What's wrong with this guy?
Maybe I was trying to find my contact lens. I don't know, but yeah. But yeah, man. Oh, wow. So that's awesome. So that's when you first started. So you came back another week with some jokes, and then from there you started doing your stand-up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when I started doing stand-up, I was just doing things that happened to me during the week.
Yeah.
I was just telling things that I thought were funny.
Yeah.
Nobody else thought they were funny.
Yeah.
You know, and Ron J. Smith, you have to put the J in there.
Okay.
He would always give me hassle afterwards about how I wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And it was just, I didn't see how anybody else couldn't see how they were funny. They were funny to me.
Yeah.
But you just had to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things.
And then now, yeah.
So yeah, I took a class with Rudy Moreno over at the Ice House.
Okay.
And he became my mentor. And he just, you know, he taught me how to write a joke and how to deliver and stuff like that. And every now and then after a show, he'll come up to me and goes, "Hey, stop doing this, stop doing that." You know, I used to sing a song at the end of my show. You know, it was a funny song. He goes, "You know what? You don't need to do that. You don't need to sing." Because I wrote a whole new set.
Yeah.
And I put a song at the end of that one.
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't have to be singing all the time."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he taught me how to write jokes. Just hanging out with comics.
Yeah.
And watching other comics. And on YouTube, I was watching comedy all the time. Now reading comedy books and write different styles.
Amazing.
And stuff like that.
Amazing. You know what? Because you know your story is so inspiring. But you know, I gotta tell you, SNAXX, there are people that are out there, and they are going through depression. They have dreams in their hearts, but they, you know, for whatever reason, they just want to throw it in. What would you tell them to say? You know, keep moving or close up? You know, what would you tell them?
I would say, like I said earlier, that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Because no matter what you're going through, when you're depressed, little molehills feel like mountains. And I know this for a fact. And just looking at it, because once I was able to talk to somebody, I had a therapist for about 3 years that I saw every week. And once I was able to talk to her, I would talk to her and I would think, my gosh, that was so stupid. Why was I fretting over that? Because little things become big when you're depressed. And this too shall pass. You know, you'll get through it. You always get through it. You just got to keep chugging away and find your path. Find that path that's already been laid out for you. It's already there. You just got to look for it. Move the brush out of the way. But it's there, and you'll find your way.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh man, that was great. Now I gotta ask you a little favor, because we gotta take a break. And I was hoping that you get to share some of your comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that SNAXX comedy
Definitely.
with us. So we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back.